G'day, g'day. How you going? What do you know? He'll strike a light. G'day, g'day. And how you going? Just say g'day, 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 and you'll be right.
Now we come to the portion of the service before we do our Bible study that we talk about some end times news and trends that are happening around the world as it relates to Bible prophecy. And as we see on a weekly and daily occurrence, the tragedy, the disaster, the calamity that's happening around the world, the frequency of these things escalating from the natural disasters to the terrorist attack, it's unbelievable what another week will unfold. And again, this past week was another crazy week, insane week, as the signs of the times so consistently and continues to get closer and closer and shows up. Again, the first thing that we started out with the whole terrorist attack that happened in France. There was that truck that crashed into the crowd that was celebrating Bastille Day. They said there was at least 80 that are dead, including 10 children. And dozens were injured during this particular attack. And again, the police are treating it as such, as a terrorist attack, and even the president doesn't have a problem of France calling it what it is, a terrorist attack. And again, when he was doing a conference in Washington, D.C., and he talked about terrorist attack or Islamic attack, they somehow blurted out that particular reference when he was speaking. But the suspect was a local 31-year-old French Tanzanian guy. And, of course, witnesses, as they were watching it unfold, he was shouting Ali Akbar, which is typical with these suicide missions. And this is the 12th attack, by the way, that's happened in France in the last year and a half, since January 2015. And another note on this issue that's going on within France, it is a very Islamic country now these days because they've opened up the borders. But so far, there's been over 230 plus killed in the attack since 2015. More than the previous century, okay, the previous 100 years, okay, from 2000 or 1994 or 1914, to 2014. Between that period of time, there's only 150 people that were killed, whether it was bombings or target assassinations, plane hijacking. The deadliest did occur in 1961 when 26 people were killed in the bombing in the Salzburg train that carried out by these right-winger type parliamentary or paramilitary organization that went in. But just in the last year and a half, what's going on within France specifically, they're seeing more attacks going on, and it's not going to stop. Again, with this whole infiltrated with this Islamic invasion that has occurred over the last several years, it's only going to get worse. Of course, Turkey has sprung into the news again, and Turkey is that bridge to the Middle East, and also a huge part of NATO. So they have a real key component of what's happening in the Middle East and also in Europe, and also the eventual invasion into Israel. But in this last event that happened, the coup that started, again, there's about 90 that are dead, and there's 115 or 1,500 soldiers that have been arrested for this particular coup that happened. And this came out of the Times of Israel, where the attempt of a military coup in Turkey, again, had risen to 90 people that died in this particular event. The state-run news agency reported Saturday morning that over 1,000 people were also wounded. A senior Turkish official said that a total of 1,500 plus military personnel have been detained across the country, and just within this 12-hour period of time that this occurred. The Turkish president, he claimed that he's in control of the country, and when he was on vacation when all this happened. You know, imagine you're enjoying the nice summer, you know, because it's summer there, and he's swimming, doing laps, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, boss man, there's a coup trying to take over the country. Can you imagine that phone call or that conversation? And so, but he's vowed that the coup supporters will pay a heavy price for their treason of Turkey. So the prime minister there, who in another report, which Fox reported, had revised the number of dead people that said it was about 161 people that had died, not just the 90 people. So it's interesting that the different reports of how many died or got injured in this affair. So the chaos again had continued to disrupt the country, the government, the stability that's happening there. And again, just a month ago when the attack happened at the airport, we do have some friends there in Turkey, and got a report back from them that they're safe and they're doing okay, but that there's a lot of tension that's going on there. So we need to be praying for more Christians. And again, they have a very, very, very small Christian population there in Turkey. So the arrest of officers were underway, and it could go higher up the ranks from just those that are, normal soldiers to the generals that were part of this whole coup. And so culminating a cleansing of the military. So it would be interesting how the rest of the week or how things are going to fall into place after this. So the successful overthrow didn't happen, what they wanted to see happen in Turkey. But this would have been one of the biggest shifts in the Middle East in years, transforming one of the most important U.S. allies while the war is raging on the border. So the U.S. is using some of the military bases there to go into Syria, so there's going to be some more tension there. But of course, Obama and the president of Turkey are good friends and are a part of the same Islamic caliphate and wanting to take over the world. But it'd be interesting what's going to be the outfall of this event from the president of Turkey, that he will probably push more of his Islamic influence and tyranny and attack on those that are not, and especially Christians. Obama recently stated that what must be supported is the democratically elected government of Turkey, so he's really supporting their current president. But of course now there's footage of the Turkish people going against the ranks, but just the instability that's happening in Turkey. Similar to what happened many years ago within Russia when the coup took over there. I remember I was at a training camp in cross country up in the mountains in Mammoth, training with some of the Olympians, and they had that whole coup was developed on the news, and so it was just interesting to see all these things come about, because it was a game changer in the world, just like this is going to be a game changer around here in the Middle East and Europe. On to another unstable country. Iran conducts its fourth missile test since signing the nuke deal. So days before, and again, we're approaching that anniversary agreement between Iran and the world powers, where Iran has attempted to launch a new type of ballistic missile using kind of a North Korean technology. Multiple intelligence officials tells Fox News. So the test is in violation of a UN resolution, and they failed shortly after liftoff when the missile exploded, sources said. So the effort occurred in the evening of July 11th and 12th. And so the Iranian city of Samah, which is just an hour west of Esfahan, where Iran has been conducting similar ballistic missiles. So Iran is a very unstable country. They've been planning to wipe Israel off the face of the map, which we know is not going to happen. But we see that they continue to escalate with their missile technology, their nuclear weapons. We're going to see a lot more from them in the days to come. And also, speaking of military, the U.S. approved the United Nations use of military force on American soil. We mentioned this many months ago, how there's a lot of reports of the UN vehicles coming in all over the U.S. So now they have the opportunity to use force when they need to. So the United Nations military troops may be arriving soon to see action on American soil following the United States announcement of the support of the set principles, given a green light for UN peacekeeping troops and police to use force against civilians in armored conflict. So what we're seeing taking place, and potentially the martial law that could be happening as well, perhaps a disaster that will implement it. We're seeing these riots going all over the U.S. with the whole Black Lives Matter and that whole conspiracy. But we're now starting to see the escalation of the UN opportunity to invade and the whole global policing that could happen. So the U.S. ambassador, Samantha Power, told attendees of the important UN meeting, the United States was proud and humbled to be included in this new agenda and promise followed by the 18 pledges, according to Fox Report. So the arrival of the United Nations requires federalization of police in order to set the global standards of law enforcement. So they're pushing this agenda, global police, control over the people. And it is interesting to see all these pieces of the puzzle come together. And it's amazing to see all over the world the events happening. And time doesn't permit to go into other news items, but suffice it to say we're living in exciting times as we're seeing Bible prophecy coming to pass. Again, keep watch what's happening in Damascus. That will be a soon fulfillment of prophecy. We don't know when that's going to happen, but that's out of Isaiah 17. With the destruction of Damascus, things are unstable in Syria. We're seeing the pieces of the puzzle of Ezekiel 38 and Psalm 83, and there's some people say Psalm 83 has already happened. No, it hasn't already happened. They're saying that the Seven-Day War in 1967 was that, but all the other pieces of the puzzle wasn't a part of that. Anyway, it's a whole other discussion. But all these events in the world are the signs of the times, as we mention on a weekly basis. All these pieces of the puzzle keep coming closer and closer together. So our time here is going to be short. We're excited for that. But the key, as we always say, is to stay focused on Jesus Christ. Stay in the Word of God. Be watchful, be alert in what is happening around the world as it does relate to Bible prophecy. And then thirdly, keep preaching the gospel to as many people as possible. Everyone needs to hear the good news of Jesus Christ, and we need to share it in grace, in truth, and in love. And so these are the keys, really, that's going to make the real lasting change. Amen? And that concludes today's update.